I love disaster movies. This one was a little different. Hello, welcome to Just My Thoughts. I'm your host, Khaleel Ward. On this episode, I'll be talking about Moonfall. It's a movie directed by Roland Emmerich. You know him for Independence Day, The Day After Tomorrow, which I love. 2012, the old Godzilla. You know what to expect going into this, where the moon is essentially coming to Earth. The movie stars Patrick Wilson, John Bradley from Game of Thrones, Halle Berry. Wilson plays this guy who's actually not a bad guy. He's an astronaut named Brian Harper. He's a hero turned disgraced astronaut. The movie starts off in the past, and something happens when he's out in space with Halle Berry. He loses an astronaut, but he manages to save Halle Berry. But as the years go on, it's like 10 years passes, and he's going to court and everything, and nobody wants to believe him when he tells them what happened. So this guy, John Bradley's character, Casey, he finds out this information that the moon is out of orbit. After all these years, the moon has moved out of orbit, and he's trying to get NASA on the phone. He's trying to tell people, nobody wants to believe him. He finally meets Harper. Harper doesn't believe him. And then Halle Berry still works for NASA, and she finds out the same exact thing, and they're trying to keep it on the hush. But Casey just tells the entire internet. He just leaks it to the internet. So now people are scrambling. Like I always say in things in movies like this or TV shows like this, when something bad is happening in the world, humans are terrible people. We see a lot of that. Rioting, people, just going crazy because they don't know what's going to happen. Essentially, they tell them that as the moon gets closer, chunks of the moon are going to start falling and hitting the earth. The tidal waves are going to change and, stuff like that. The flooding and everything we get from these disaster movies. So their big plan is to go to the moon, see what's going on. They see it on an image. It's like a hole on the moon. So they send some astronauts up there. And then that's where things get a little weird. And the movie just goes in a different direction. And I'm not going to lie. It's not a good movie, but I was in for it. I knew it wasn't going to be a good movie, but I was just like, I'm in. The movie works when you are dealing with the astronauts going to the moon or anything dealing with destruction. They also try to throw in the family aspect that most of these movies have. Like if you think about The Day After Tomorrow, it was a father trying to go get his son. 2012, you had the family together as they were trying to get in and out of things. In this one, Harper has his son. After everything that happened, he got a divorce and everything. His son is a lot older. He doesn't really have a connection with him. Then you have Halle Berry. She also has a son. She got divorced from her husband. So you have that family dynamic. So when things are happening in space with, Wilson and Barry and all of them, then you have the things on Earth, which is not as interesting because it's the family just trying to survive while things are falling and hitting Earth. It's really cool when the Earth gets really close. When the Earth gets really close to the moon, and it's just, the effects look cool. It's different. It's just not like other movies where it's like, okay, tidal wave hits something, it's a couple of earthquakes. No, the gravity is affecting what's happening. So the water is coming up in a different way. People, there's no gravity. So it's just like people are skipping, trying to get away. Cars are floating in the air. It's like that. But it's a rotation. So it's not happening. It's not always something bad happening. It gets really close and then it goes away a little bit. Things go back to normal a little bit. So it's like, it's cool to see that because it's a different take on it. The second half of the movie, I wasn't expecting that. I was like, wow, this is very different from regular disaster movies, and I'm not going to spoil it. I was in for it. Again, it's not a great movie, but I had a good time. And I think if you like disaster movies, you may enjoy this. It's going to be a lot of moments where you're like, can we get back to what's happening in space, because this is more interesting than hanging out on Earth. But I enjoyed it. So those are just my thoughts for Moonfall. Have you seen it? Please let me know. Let me know what some of your favorite disaster movies. Day After Tomorrow is like my favorite. I'll watch that anytime it's on. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Deuces.